watching a master at work.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Friday night, guess who's back? We're back. 2 weeks ago, we went to Saturday evening affair because we had to. Tell it like it is, UPTV Channel 6. Big Joe in the house. And I got somebody next to me like an old bag of collard greens. My radio partner, my partner in crime, my Ace Boone Coon, Sergeant Rock.
Good evening, Joe. Let me tell you something about collard greens. They're good.
I like them with cornbread.
Me too.
And that's why we got you here, baby.
That's right. Glad to be aboard.
Appreciate you coming on. Friday night, 7 o'clock, UPTV Channel 6. Tell it like it is. 1 hour of a wide-ranging talk show about sports. You know what to do, folks, sitting out there. We've been on long enough. Stat Girl has got the finger exercise. She got here early. She put a little Bengay on it, warmed it up.
Oh, she ready to go then.
She's ready. She is in the house. Stat Girl, what's up?
What's up?
How you feeling?
Feeling good.
You ready to answer these phones?
I am ready.
Well, I know Sam is ready to talk sports. I'm ready to talk sports. I know you at home is ready to talk sports. So we're going to jump right into this thing. And what we're going to jump right into, the NBA playoffs. Sammy.
Yeah.
NBA playoffs started off with 16.
Down 8.
Trying to roll down to 8. The big surprise.
Oh, it wasn't no surprise.
The Golden State Warriors.
It wasn't no surprise, Joe.
No surprise?
No surprise. Golden State came out with a mission. They accomplished that mission, putting away Dallas. They want to go to the playoffs.
They put Dallas away last night, 111 to 86, game 6. Now, when Dallas came out the locker room and looked in the stands and saw that goal, do you think that was the first thing that stunned them? Or were they already stunned?
They were already stunned. They knew that they had to win this game. Golden State knew that they had to win this game because they didn't want to go back to Dallas and play.
Right.
So they had to win this game. And I think they wanted the game more, and they went out and proved it. Like you said, they got beat by a one-legged guy. Shoot, he had, 9, 10 three-pointers?
You're talking about Baron Davis.
Yeah.
Baron Davis did a tremendous job last night. Sam said he tweaked his hamstring in the first quarter of the game. And if you think about it, he's been the heart and soul of that team throughout the playoffs, as short as it's been. And looking at what Baron Davis did last night was nothing, no less than spectacular in the fact that here it is, you got the number 1 seed in the playoffs, the Dallas Mavericks, 67 victories in the regular season. They were runners-up in the NBA Finals last year, and they come out against a team that was the 8th seed who limped into the playoffs, and now look what happens. They're gone home. Dallas is done.
Well, Golden State made history. That's the first time in the NBA series that a number 8 seed has beat a number 1 seed.
In a 7-game series, you are correct. It happened prior with Denver, did it back in '94, and the Knicks did it in but those are
playing
5 games, right? So those don't count.
They don't count.
And I think David Stern thought on these lines, where if you extend the playoffs to 7 games in the first round, upsets won't happen. You'll get your top seeds to flow on. Didn't happen. Did not happen.
Yeah.
Now,
Kudos to Golden State.
did you hear what he said out there, UPTV Channel 6?
Kudos to Golden State.
Kudos to Golden State. That's what we say on Wednesdays on the radio, and we're going to do it here on Tell It Like It Is. Now, if you want to give us a holler, the phone, 345-612, what's the phone number again? It's on the TV screen.
Is it in the book?
It's in the book. but it's on TV screen. 384-2452, 384-2452. Give us a hit. Tell us Joe Stovall, Sergeant Rock, talking NBA playoffs. Dirk Nowitzki.
Cut his hair and he lost his ability to play ball. They shut him down, Joe.
Shut him down?
Shut him down.
My question is this. Is Dirk Nowitzki a star but not super?
He needs help. He needs help, Joe.
What's wrong with his supporting cast?
They're getting old. They've been trying to get to the NBA Finals for the past 4 or 5 years now. Mm-hmm. It hasn't happened. And they're going to have to make some changes in Dallas. They're going to have to make some changes.
Well, I think the first thing that I look at is the situation at point guard. I think Devin Harris just couldn't handle the pressure, especially with Baron Davis. But we're going to handle these pressures like we do on the radio. We got telephone calls, 384-2452. Caller, tell us your name. Tell us where you're calling from. Tell it like it is.
I'm calling from Urbana,
Yes, sir.
and I feel that the Bulls are going to move on to the next round. I want to know what you guys think.
Who's that?
The Bulls?
You think the Bulls are going to move on in the next round?
Yes, I do, and I just want to know what you guys think. Let me hang up, and I'll listen.
All righty. Appreciate you calling.
Thanks.
Well, they already moved to the next round. I don't think they're going to get any further than that. Detroit is the team to beat in the East, people. Believe me when I tell you.
I have to agree with Sergeant Rock on that. Detroit is the number 1 seed in the East. They had the best record in the Eastern Conference. They're playing some of the best basketball. They just got through sweeping Orlando, just like the Bulls swept the Miami Heat. But I think Detroit has got the edge, even though the Bulls, now remember this, the Bulls did win the regular season series 3-1. But I think Detroit has the edge in experience. They've won a final. They've been to a final with the team that they have there. I think the missing ingredient for them, losing Ben Wallace to the Bulls was a subtraction to their lineup, but by getting Chris Webber in there, they got another athletic big man to play the post for them. They're playing some inspired basketball. And I think the other thing, the Bulls beat the Miami Heat with a perimeter game and were able to be more athletic because Miami was old. I don't think they're going to be able to run Detroit out of the building the way they ran Miami out. I think the game will slow down. It'll turn into NBA playoff basketball as we're used to. And because of that, I think Detroit will take it in 6.
I concur.
You concur?
I concur.
Well, appreciate you calling. Hit us anytime. 384-2452. Tell it like it is. But I'm not through with the Dallas Mavericks. They're not going to get off the hook that easy. Somebody called in and talked about the Bulls. You know, I got ADHD, Sam, but
They try to throw you off.
try to throw me, got me scratching my head. About what was I talking about then?
But, you know, Dallas is done.
Dallas is done.
So we don't need to talk about it no more. But you do.
I just want to finish them up.
Go
you
ahead.
know, I want to be like the funeral director before I put the.
But you close the case.
Yes, I want to give a quick eulogy on them. And as I said, Dirk Nowitzki, he's a star but not a superstar. Because in the playoffs, your superstars are supposed to take the team and put them on their shoulder, especially when you have a crisis situation like they had in this series.
Dirk Nowitzki was just like Kobe Bryant was with L.A. He can't win it by himself, Joe.
Well, but I agree he can't win it by himself, but he didn't take more than 20 shots in any of the 6 games he played in.
Well, they were shutting him down. I think Golden State did a nice defensive job on Dirk.
Yeah, Stephen Jackson did play some inspired defense on Dirk. But even with that being said, you're the number 1 team in the playoffs. You can't get shut down.
He's human. Your mama tell you gonna be days like this.
She didn't say it's going to be weeks like this.
It was a whole series.
Right.
It was a whole series. But, you know, the owner, he's going to have to go out and test the free market, and he's going to have to spend a little money to get Dirk some help if they ever going to make the NBA Finals.
Right. Now, you talk about the owner, talking about Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. His wallet was fat, but I don't think it was fat enough. Like you said, I think Cuban, ever since he acquired the Mavericks, his goal has been to win an NBA championship. They had the Heat down last year 0-2.
Blew it.
And blew it. That was their best opportunity. They came back this year, as I said earlier, set 67 wins. They get into the playoffs. They're playing Golden State, and they lose 4-2. My question to Mark Cuban is, okay, when you pull out that big wallet, you got to spend some money somewhere. Who are you going to go after? Stackhouse, as you said, he's getting a little long in the tooth. He was your sixth man. Devin Harris, who was the point guard for Dallas, he didn't get it done. Your big men, they were kind of robotic, so Golden State was able to play small ball with them and take them out of the game.
Right.
So where does he go?
That I couldn't tell you. But he got a long before next season start to figure it out.
True. I agree with you. Well, let me go ahead and close the lid on this one.
Yeah, we're going to throw some dirt on him.
Thank you for coming. You can leave now, Dallas. Moment of silence. All right, that's cool. That's cool. So we're done with them. So like we said, we're going 16-8. So we're going into the second round of the playoffs. Caller just called in and asked about the Bulls and the Pistons.
Bulls and Pistons. Piston got this one wrapped up. You know, Bull fans, you know, go ahead and root for them. I'm probably going to root for them too. I'm not going to deny that because, you know, we do air Bulls games and we'll be airing the one this Saturday at 6 o'clock. But I'm going to root for them. I just don't think they have enough to win.
Before you go any further, was that a shameless plug?
Yeah, that was a plug.
Oh, okay.
But I just don't think they have enough to beat Detroit.
You don't think they have enough?
I don't think they have enough to beat Detroit.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at it. Is this deja vu? You know, think back to the late 80s and the early 90s. Remember when the Bulls and the Pistons used to lock horns?
Michael Jordan used to play.
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant. Detroit had Rodman, John Sally, Mahorn.
And Jordan always sent them home.
Well, no, wait a minute now. Remember, before he sent them home, they took a few beatdowns in the playoffs from the Detroit Pistons. Remember, the Pistons went to the championship in '88, lost to the Lakers. Right. They won their first title in '89 when they beat the Lakers, and then in '90 when they turned around and beat Portland. So that 3-year span, the Bulls was taking a woodshed spanking right there. Are we going to see the same thing, or what type of intensity do you expect out of these playoffs compared to back then where you had a lot of pushing, grabbing, and punching?
I think some serious basketball is going to be played during this series. But once again, I don't think the Bulls have enough athleticism to beat Detroit. And that's going to be their downfall. I mean, as far as matchup is concerned, Detroit is too strong, Joe.
Yeah, you're looking at like Luol Deng going up against Tayshaun Prince. Deng did a great job in the Miami series, but like I said, he's playing against older forwards, and he was more athletic, and he was able to get up and down the court. I think Prince can run with him. Ben Gordon, you're looking at Ben Gordon running against Rip Hamilton, guy like that. You've got Chauncey Billups, Kurt Heinrich, Chris Webber, as I said earlier, and Ben Wallace. I see Webber having the offensive edge in that area. I think, to me, the X factor for Detroit is Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed can go out and shoot the three as well as get under the bucket and post up. And then coming off the bench, you've got Antonio McDyess for Pistons. So I agree. I think they're a little stronger in that area. I think the Bulls, the issue they're going to have, you got Tyrese Thomas as a rookie trying to go up against some of these veteran big men.
It's gonna be a good series, but you know, we'll be burying the Bulls next week. I mean, as soon as the series over. What? I'm not saying that they're gonna get swept.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but they will lose this series.
They'll lose this series. Well, in the other series that's going to be happening in the East, King James, LeBron, he's waiting for Mr. Kidd, I think.
Jason Kidd.
Rasheed can go out and shoot the three as well as get under the bucket and post up. And then coming off the bench, you've got Antonio McDyess for Pistons. So I agree. I think they're a little stronger in that area. I think the Bulls, the issue they're going to have you got Tyrus Thomas as a rookie trying to go up against some of these veteran big men.
It's gonna be a good series, but we'll be burying the Bulls next week. I mean, as soon as the series over. What? I'm not saying that they're gonna get swept.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but they will lose this series.
They'll lose this series. Well, in the other series that's going to be happening in the East, King James, LeBron, he's waiting for Mr. Kidd, I think.
Jason Kidd.
Right now, Toronto and New Jersey are still going at it. Jersey's up 3-2, and looks like Jersey should close that series out. If they do, what awaits them is one of the premier young superstars in the league right now, LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, Cleveland dispatched to Washington pretty easily, but Washington had no Butler. Washington had no Arenas. So
Washington had no chance.
You know what? Put a string right here and just pull it.
Washington had no chance.
And because of that, Cleveland is sitting home resting. Advantage Cleveland, or is it advantage New Jersey that they continue to play?
Advantage Cleveland.
Advantage Cleveland. So you're thinking by getting these extra days of rest that Cleveland's going to be okay rolling into this?
Yes.
Yes. Wow. Wow. Now, in the other conference, the Western Conference, you're going to have Phoenix going up against San Antonio.
Man, did you see Nash the other night?
23 assists.
23 assists. Ooh, that's ugly. That's dishing the ball.
All you young ball players out there, share the ball.
There you go.
Steve Nash showed you the right way the other night.
You don't necessarily have to make 100 points.
No. Especially, but think about the talent that's around him.
Yeah.
Barbosa, Dial, Sean Marion, and Stoudemire in the mirror.
Yes.
All he has to do is what? Just throw it up.
Throw it up.
Throw
Go
it up.
down there, look for somebody, look for the open man, toss it to him, 2 points. He gets an assist, he's in the record books. Probably only had, about 4 or 5 points? But when you're as good as Nash, you don't have to score.
No. As long as you make the other ones around you better,
Yeah.
and as long as those guys can put the ball in the bucket for you. Now, the thing for Phoenix that they've got to look out for, San Antonio, veteran team, Tim Duncan in the middle.
It's my favorite out the West.
That's your favorite coming out the West?
My favorite out the West.
Well, obviously, we disagree because I'm rolling with Phoenix all the way.
We'll see.
I think the reason why Phoenix didn't come out last year is because Stoudemire wasn't in the middle due to the knee injury. He's back. I'm looking for big things from Phoenix out of that series. I say Phoenix in 7.
San Antonio.
Say that again.
San Antonio.
Say that one more time.
San Antonio.
You're wrong.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Now, the other series in the West, Golden State. It doesn't pains me because I'm not a Dallas fan, but I just can't, unless this is 1976 and Al Attles is the coach and Brick Berry is playing, that's the only way I can remember Golden State.
Here's the point, Joe. This is quick and to the point. Whenever you throw the ball up, you got to be ready to play. Dallas wasn't ready to play, and it showed. They're lost. They gone fishing today.
You're right, and they be catching a whole bunch of bass and crappie right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, their opponent, Jazz, Rockets. Jazz, Rockets.
Good game the other night.
Excellent game the other night.
Game. I watched that one. Because you know me and NBA, yeah. But I did watch that game.
Yeah, you and the NBA are like one of Zsa Zsa Gabor's ex-husbands.
Yeah, that's me.
You don't get along.
But it was an excellent game. I really like what Williams has been doing lately. He's been playing great ball. We talking about our former Illini, Darren Williams.
Right.
Luther Head came off the bench, put in some good minutes. It was an excellent play ball game, and they play game 7 tonight, I do believe, is it?
No, I think it's tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. I think, like last night, Utah, even the series up 3-3. And so they go back to Houston for the pivotal game 7. Now, here's a key stat, I think, for Houston fans. Tracy McGrady has never been out of the first round. He is now starting to look just like Dirk Nowitzki looked in the Golden State series.
Ragged.
athletic, great ball player in the regular season. But when it comes to the killer instinct that the winners have, I don't think McGrady has it. You know, but we're gonna find out if we got killer instinct on these phone lines.
Oh, we got another call.
Got another call, man.
Excellent.
Hey, caller, tell us your name, tell us where you're calling from, tell them like it is.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny Dollar all the way from the Derby, baby, doing that Derby.
What's going on, Kentucky Derby Dollar?
Hey, Dollar, where you in Louisville, right?
Man, you know, it's raining up here, but that ain't stopping nothing.
I agree. They had the Kentucky Oats.
They,
Oh, I can't.
what's that?
I said they had the Kentucky Oats this evening, right?
Right.
Who won that race?
I can't get a good connection right now because it's either me or the phone. But I'm going to just let y'all know something. The Queen of England, she's here. They got everything locked down like she's the President of the United States. In fact, she's more important than the President of the United States. But they got everything locked down. The Queen of England, she's here. We're staying in the same hotel as Shaka Khan. She's about 4 foot tall with a 6 foot afro. And I'm telling you, man, this is only cracking.
Will you tell Shaka we said Shaka Khan? Shaka
Right.
Khan. Can we love you, Shaka Khan?
But y'all give me a call tomorrow. Give me the pics of your horses. And, you know, I may come back for some things. You know what I mean?
We'll definitely do that. We're going to give you a hit.
Hey.
Take care of yourself, Kentucky Derby Dollar. Appreciate you calling. Tell it like it is.
All right. Give it up for the Stack Girl and the cameraman and Khalid. See you when I see you.
All right. Take care, man.
That's $1 to call.
Yeah, all the way down there at the old Derby.
In Louisville, Kentucky. Don't say Louisville.
Say it the right way.
Louisville.
One more time.
Louisville, Kentucky.
See, that's the reason why I had to bring you in and have you sit in that chair.
Hey, because you know I used to be at Fort Knox a long time ago.
Is that where you got the name Sergeant Rock?
Yes, it was.
Because you were guarding those gold bars, those rocks, and you was a sergeant. And
Didn't get that close, Joe.
You wasn't that close?
They won't allow you to get that close. They got that thing set up to where you're a good 200 yards away from the main building.
Couldn't even sniff it, huh?
No. All you can do is stand there and gaze and wonder what if. Is there any gold in there or is there not?
So it's like Geraldo Rivera going into Al Capone's
Yeah, you go open up the vault and there's nothing
nothing in
there.
there. So they've been fooling us all these years.
I kind of doubt that. I mean, there's a lot of security around that building.
Well, you know who needs a little security right now?
It's the Queen Mom.
The Queen Mom is down in Louisville, and we're going to get to that real quick. But before we get to that, there was a Cleveland Cavalier player, former, who's getting ready to get himself in, he's in a little hot water. I don't know if any of y'all remember Robert Tractor Trailer.
Used to play with Michigan.
Played for the son of Fab Five in the mid-'90s, and then had a brief stint in the NBA, 7 years. Not a brief stint, but 7 years. Reason why I bring him up, here's another story of an athlete who thought had come out of the hood and did good. And now we find out that Tractor Trailer, laundry is not clean. He was trying to wash some money for his cousin, who's a prominent drug dealer in the Detroit area.
Say that again, Joe.
He was trying to wash some money.
Wash.
Wash it. You know, you folks who know about the drug business, it's a cash business. And the IRS loves cash, don't they?
Yeah, you just can't go open up a bank account
And just drop $100 grand in,
every 2 days.
and then go and buy $1 million house and the Cadillacs and the SUVs, because they want to ask questions like, well, where you working? What you doing?
Where your W-2?
So he went ahead and used his cousin, Tractor Trailer, who, like I said, was an NBA player. And it doesn't look so suspicious when a NBA ball player comes up with the $1 million house and big cars and fancy stuff like that. But guess who got it? Just like they got Al Capone.
IRS.
The IRS.
Let me ask you this. Did he know that this was going on?
Yes.
Oh, so he allowed it.
Here's what he was doing. His cousin would buy property, let's say apartment buildings or houses, and put it in Tractor Trailer's name. Tractor Trailer, thinking that nobody was suspected, tried to deduct one of the apartment complexes on his tax return a few years ago as a write-off because he lost money on it. Flags started going up the pole, and guess what happened? Sergeant Rock,
Federal marshals.
have a few questions.
Shoot, see my agent. Should I call my lawyer?
I think you need to.
I'll come back tomorrow.
Whenever you see a blue Crown Vic with nothing on it pull up in your front door, and guys get out and they suits match,
I thought they drive SUVs now.
well, they probably came with an SUV for the tractor,
Big Suburbans and carry them.
and they threw him in the back. He's facing anywhere from 12 to 18 months for racketeering and money laundering.
Yeah, that's like Michael Vick. He buying houses, giving them to his cousins. Hold on, Joe.
Mike Vick did what?
He he has a house. Now, this just happened a couple days ago, last week. I mean, we mentioned it Wednesday. Law enforcement officers raided a home of his in Virginia, out in the country, and they found something like 60 dogs on his property. They malnutrition, haven't been feeding the dogs.
That's hard to
Some
keep
of them were injured.
Right. And Vic's
Vic
response,
says, I know nothing about it.
he knows nothing about,
That's what he said.
okay,
He don't even go to the house. Now you gonna buy a house.
and you don't go to
You
it.
don't go to it.
Well, you know, when you got family members
Yeah,
and,
go ahead, Pookie. You can have this house, man. I'll holler.
and keep your 60 dogs up in there with
Yeah.
you.
Now, Vic says he does not know anything about the dogs, people. But Michael has a website. Yes.
Is it www.ronmexico?
No, ooh, that's low. That's low. It's MVic K9. Now, he says he'll sell you a good pit bull puppy, or he has a couple other dogs on the website. Now, I went to the website today.
Okay.
I was curious.
And
You can't open up nothing.
maybe the feds will come down and lock
Hold
it
on
down.
now. There's a disclaimer at this website that says, we do not sell dogs for fighting.
Oh, so that's what he's saying, huh?
That's what the website said. We just raise them for, to give your kids the pet. No, we want to pet a pit bull.
Well, I know one thing. I'm not petting a hungry pit bull that ain't been fed in days. It's been up in the house with 59 other pit bulls.
Not to mention they found treadmills. They found equipment that they use to pry the dog's mouths open, because, pit bull, he get a hold of, you don't want to let go to him. Pretty much like a gator.
Right.
They get a hold of it, they don't want to let go.
Snap and grab. Well, I know this. Tractor Trailer, Michael Vick, and all the rest of these professional athletes, you cannot outrun the long arm of the law.
Can't hide, Joe.
You can't run, you can't hide. They get the dragnet out, they get you too.
You might get a lot of less time than we will get, but you can't hide.
There you go. Now, moving on from the police blotter, Major League Baseball.
Oh, now you're talking my sport.
We're talking Sergeant Rock's thing right here. No more snow. We are in the month of May now. No more snow. And because there's no more snow, there's a team that's getting hot.
Who's that?
The Cubs. The Cubs.
Come on, Joe.
Cubs have won 5 out of 6.
Anybody but you. I would expect to hear this from anybody but you. What is hot about the Cubs?
What is hot about the Cubs?
What is hot about the Cubs?
The Cubs have won 5 out of their last 6. They were sweeping the Cardinals till the tragedy happened last week with Josh Hancock. Yes, another moment of silence.
All right.
All right, we're back. The Cardinals have lost 5 in a row. I said to you at the beginning of the season, the Cardinals were the worst team to ever win the World Series last year.
This is true.
And now they're 10 and 15. They're in last place in the Central. Guess who's in second place?
Who that?
The Cubs. Do I need to throw any more fuel on this Cardinal-Cub rivalry?
It's a long way to October. I suspect a lot will change in the Central Division between now and then, but we must admit, Milwaukee is hot.
Now they are burning up the
Milwaukee
place.
is hot.
Milwaukee is hot. Like you said, right now, the Brew Crew is leading the Central.
Beating everybody.
They're 18-10. They're 10-5 at home and 8-5 on the road. The Brewers are playing some excellent ball.
Oh, they're getting excellent pitching.
Here's the thing for the Cubs, though, and this is why I brought up the month of May and no more snow. Cubs started off horrendous at home, but now with the fact that the Cubs are starting to pick up things as the weather warms up, Alfonso Soriano,
He finally got a hit the other day.
he done went yard a couple times now.
He finally got a hit the
D.
other day.
Lee is leading the league in batting. They're pitching. Ted Lilly, Marquis, Rich Hill, doing a fabulous job. Zambrano won again today. The Cubs, hot.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that.
Trying to say Lou Piniella would not be committed by the end of May? I'm still saying that Lou is going to flip his wig by the end of May.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me scratch my head. You distracted me with that one, just like that first call we got.
He's going to flip his wig by the end of May. Because the Cubs, I just don't think the Cubs have it. They went out and spent, what, $130 million, something like that?
The equivalent to the national debt.
Yeah, this past season. They got some excellent ball players, but, you know, I just don't think they're going to do it.
Well, we're going to see what this caller thinks. Caller, tell us your name. Tell us where you're calling from. Tell it like it is.
Hi, how you all doing?
We're excellent.
Okay, this is Mary Thomas. And I am a very, very, very fan of the Cubs. I mean, the Cardinals. Anyway, but hey, the Cardinals will always beat the Cubs out. You know what I'm saying? Because the organization, as far as I'm concerned, is the pitching organization for the Cubs is not as good as the Cardinals.
Wait
You know,
a
I'm
minute.
sitting there looking at you.
Mary, I'm looking at you. And I want you to say that again. The Cardinals pitching is better?
And I just had to call you because, hey, they're my boys. You know, like the organization's not doing that good right now. I can grant that. But hey, the boys can play. It just takes a little, you know, hey, everybody needs a little, you know, hey, an organization, you know, some things going on now. You know, we had a little dash, and everybody is drinking a little bit. But hey, we can come, hey, the Cardinals will beat the Cubs.
The Cardinals will beat the Cubs.
Oh, yeah, any day.
Mary, you know what? I love a fan who thinks with their heart and not with their head.
That's right.
Hey, I am a Cardinals fan.
Well, you know what? Enjoy your DVD from last year.
I'm coming to see you. Ain't wrong. You wrong for that. You are wrong for that. But hey, I'll beat you out.
I appreciate you calling.
Thank you.
Take care, Mary.
As a Cardinal fan, she done had her few brews and she ready to get her root on. Matter of fact, St. Louis is on tonight.
Yeah.
They're playing a, golly, Joe, I can't remember who they're playing.
You know, and it does it matter?
Yes, it does.
Does it matter?
Because I'm going to watch the game when I leave here.
You're going to. Why would you waste your time and go do that?
Because, just like Mary said, I'm a Cardinal fan.
Yeah.
Don't let the hat fool you.
It's red, but it says sock. That's
Black
that
socks.
with them old 80s socks
Yeah, one
hats.
of them throwback hats.
Right. Greg Lazinski used to wear one
Yeah,
of
they
those.
threw it at me and I took it.
Well,
But let me tell you though, you know, I must disagree with Mary on one point. Cardinals pitching sucks. Hey, let's face it.
did they hear you when you said that?
But let me tell you though, we're gonna get it together, and St. Louis is gonna be in the running come October. I mean, Chris Carpenter is due back, I think next week. Mm-hmm. And you know, Cy Young, a winner, won something like 19, 20 games last year. He's gonna come back, and Carpenter is gonna get it going. I mean, we lost some pitchers. We lost Jason Marquis, we lost Supan, and you know, they were vital in the St. Louis run toward the World Series.
Exactly.
And without them guys, then you got to revamp pitching staff, and they're not all that good right now. I'm gonna lower my head when I say that. They're all that good right now.
Huh?
They're not all that good. They're not all that good.
I can't. Why you say you're a young guy?
They're not all that
Why you
good.
say you're a young fella?
They're not all that good.
Oh, okay. Cardinals not that good.
No, the pitching is not that good.
Oh, I thought you said the Cardinals weren't all that good.
No, I said the pitching.
I'll put words in your mouth, huh?
Yeah, you trying to?
I apologize. Hey, tell it like it is, Sam. Sergeant Rock.
I am.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The other thing that's happening in baseball? Barry Bonds is getting closer.
Yeah, yeah.
He's getting closer.
He's getting about one every hitting a homer about one every 2-3 days.
Yeah, and Hank Aaron said, he wasn't going to catch no plane to go to no San Francisco. Well, I got him a Greyhound bus pass. We're going to send Hank. The way it's going right now, he may be going to Milwaukee or somewhere in June to see this record be broken because Barry Bonds is doing his thing. He's got, 9 home runs right now?
Right, and he's something like 14, 14 away from tying.
Tying and 15 away from breaking it. Barry Bonds, I like to say this in reference to the steroid allegations.
Ooh.
Barry Bonds has been accused of using steroids for all these years. He was injured 2005 with his knee. He played sparingly during that year, missed almost all of 2006. He's come back 2007, and he's on pace to break the record before the end of June. What that
Before
says
the All-Star break.
Right. What that says to me is that it doesn't matter what he took. He still is one of the greatest baseball players of all time because you still got to swing the bat and it's hand-eye coordination.
Very well put.
Thank you.
Very well put. I couldn't have said it any better.
So
Because if you can't hit the ball, you can't get no home run.
there you go.
But he does get that little extra power. He's just not getting base hits.
Hey, Barry Bonds, when he weighed 160, was hitting home runs. I'm tired of this argument. No more steroid conversation with Barry Bonds. But we are going to talk about steroids in another area.
Yeah, they checking the horses.
The horses got to pee in the cup now.
That sure do, man. Could you imagine doing that, Joe? That's your job, Joe.
What's the worst job in America?
I want you to go out there to stall number 5, because you got to do these random things. Stall number 5, write his saddle number down, get him to pee in the cup.
What they've done now is, if you aren't aware, what Sergeant Rock is referring to is that for the first time, all 20 horses in the Kentucky Derby were administered surprise tests for performance-enhancing drugs. How do you surprise a horse with a drug test?
Because the horse don't know. You think the horse know he's going to be drug tested, Joe?
Wilbur.
He run to the store, get him something, It don't work like that,
Hey, what is this guy taking? Horse pills? Oh, I'm sorry.
But, they do have those things, though, performance-enhancing drugs that they give horses. It's never came up that a horse has been tainted in the Kentucky Derby, not that I can remember.
No horse has come up tainted, but I think now it goes back. We've talked about this on our radio show with all the money that's being used into sports now. Everybody's looking for that edge. And in horse racing, EPO is the big thing that they look for in horse racing.
And that is?
I'm not even going to try to pronounce what the word is.
Okay.
I'll just use the acronym.
All right,
EPO. We'll go with that tonight.
Right.
And then we'll get out the thesaurus and we'll work on that for next week. Exactly. But they tested all 20 horses. But once again, as I say, are they horses in there eating is carrots and apples and hay?
I think they administered, they give them shots. I think that's how they administer the drug. If my memory serves me correctly, not that I've done it before, but I have heard about it.
Did you have that bad job also?
No, I have heard about it. But the ponies do run tomorrow. It's going to be an excellent race. Like Joe said, they got 20 horses, and that's a big field. And there's going to be those horses on the outside, those ones that are, they draw lotteries, to see who gets where. But the ones out on the outside, it's going to have a tough time winning this race, I believe.
Well, to give you an idea, like you said about the horses that are on the outside, you got 20 horses in. The one that's on the farthest post, number 20, Flashy Bull. Now.
Oh, you got the list?
I've got the list.
Kudos to Joe.
I've got it right here, man. Because what do we say? We don't condone betting, but if you want to bet. Now, Flashy Bull guess what his odds are?
50 to 1.
50 to 1, people. And you wonder why he's out on the outside?
That's where he got his draw. But, like I said, they got horses in there that's 80 to 1. Why run?
Well, why run? Why not? You never know.
That's true, because last year's Kentucky Derby winner was a 50 to 1 odd.
Yeah.
And he went on to win it. So it's feasible.
It is feasible.
Highly improbable,
But-
and probably won't happen again.
The ones that you need to look at, though, Brother Derek is 3-1. Lawyer Ron is 4-1. We also have Barbaro. There's another Barbaro. Is this son of Barbaro?
Barbaro Jr.?
He's 4-1. And who else?
I thought I thought Curlin was the favorite.
Yeah, and Street Sense.
Yeah. So where are they?
Let's see here. I'm trying to find them, and we'll find them and get these down for you. But here's the deal.
Take your time.
You got $2 million guaranteed
To the winner.
to the winner.
Horse sees nothing in it.
Horse gets nothing. Now what?
Sort of like college athletes.
Excellent analogy.
I just thought I'd throw that in there because I knew you was gonna go there sometime throughout the day.
College athletes need to be paid. Now, I'm off the soapbox.
They're students first.
But guess who is going to get paid?
Owner trainer.
Owner and trainers. And then, after the race is over, the horses can go back in the stall, cut on their TVs, HBO pay-per-view, and do what? Watch the fight of the century again. How many fights of the centuries do we have?
There's been plenty.
Plenty?
There's been plenty, but this one's on pay-per-view, and it is what's his name? Mayweather?
Oscar De La Hoya and Roger Mayweather.
There you go.
Floyd Mayweather, excuse me.
One of them Mayweathers.
Yeah. So you got Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar's coming in, 34 years old. Oscar's been in some mega fights. Floyd is considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world today. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are talking about this fight actually saving boxing, and the fact that boxing is starting to wane in terms of viewership.
Well, it's been going that way for a long time, and reason why? Heavyweight division.
Right. Who's the heavyweight champ?
I have no idea. Vladimir Klitschko
Is one. You know how many heavyweight champs there are?
About
4.
Okay.
That is ridiculous. And because of that, for as long as boxing has been around, the heavyweight champs symbolize how the sport was going.
Right.
When Muhammad Ali was heavyweight champ, boxing was hot.
Yeah.
When Mike Tyson was heavyweight champ, boxing was hot. Even when Evander Holyfield was champ, boxing was still, I won't say hot, but it was sizzling. Mm-hmm. Now, who's your heavyweight champ? Like Sergeant Rack said, Vladimir Klitschko is one. There are 3 other fighters that have the belts. There's 4 belts. 1 belt, 1 champ. That's what brings people back. The other thing, before we get away from Mayweather and Oscar, is that they're small guys. They're in 154 tomorrow night. So, people don't get too excited about the little guys fighting.
Little fellas out there beating each other up.
Right.
Just not. I mean, it wasn't like when Sugar Ray was back there fighting and the marvelous Marvin Hagler, was it Hagler?
Hagler, yep, and then Tommy Hearns.
Yeah, and all them guys. It's not like it was back then. I mean, there's a bunch of no names other than these 2 right here.
Right. And because of that, as I said earlier, they're putting a lot on this fight tomorrow night. You can check it on HBO pay-per-view. I'm going with Oscar in the 11th round. I know that's probably going to surprise a lot of people, but I've got a feeling Oscar's size is going to create problems for Mayweather. Mayweather has problems with his hands. If he injures his hands and tries to get on his bike to stay away from De La Hoya, I see De La Hoya walking him down. Look for a De La Hoya left hook to change the complex of the fight. Oscar with an upset victory.
Give us the tail of the tape.
Tail of the tape, you're looking at, as I said earlier, Oscar is 5'11", Mayweather's only 5'8". So he's got a 3-inch height advantage. Mm-hmm. Reach is the same, 72 inches. Now, in terms of the size and things of that nature, they're going to come in the ring. They weigh in today at 154. But when they walk into the ring tomorrow night, Oscar's going to be weighing probably about 168.
Mm-hmm. You can go home and have a few burgers and some pizza.
Exactly. He's going to pump up. Floyd may come into the ring weighing about 160. So he's going to have about a 5 to 8 pound weight advantage over Mayweather.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that a weight? I mean, surely it makes a difference. But as far as putting on 5 or 6 pounds the next day, that it's going to make that big of a difference in the fight?
I think it's going to make that difference because getting into the later rounds, if you think about it, if I'm carrying a $168 like I weigh right now,
I'm not even going to comment. Go ahead.
thank you.
You will.
You're so kind.
I know.
But I think carrying that extra weight for Oscar is going to help him in terms of his endurance going into the later rounds. I think a guy like Floyd, being as ripped as he is, he's got no fluid to carry around with him. But when he gets in those later rounds, maybe he'll start cramping up. It'll be a little tough for him to let those flurries go like he does early in the fight. If Floyd's going to win, he's got to win it early. He's got to pile up the points, or he's got to take Oscar out early. Because if not, I think Oscar's going to catch him in the end.
Ought to be a good fight. That's on pay-per-view. It's about $50. Call your local cable provider. Probably the same one that is airing this program.
That is correct.
And see if you can get that on tonight. Tomorrow night.
Now,
Give
here's
me a
a
call. Let me know where and when. No, I'm going over your house tomorrow, right?
Right. You said you were bringing the rib tips and the chicken.
Yeah, rib tips with the chicken.
Right. Now, if you got any comments on the fight, give us a hit at 384-2452. Tell it like it is. We're going into our last quarter of the show. And speaking of pay-per-view, they have these pay-per-view fights every so often. Mm-hmm. I want to know, are you a sucker for this stuff? I am.
I'm not.
You're not a sucker for it?
No, I'll wait for Sports Center.
See, I'm the guy that gets caught every time they say, mega fight, the biggest fight in America.
You're a boxing fan.
I love boxing.
So, this is something that you don't get very often unless you got Showtime. And then again, those Showtime fights are not every now and then they'll put one that's on the level of a fight like this. But like you said, the purse is how much?
Yeah, the purse for this one, you're looking at approximately $10 million for each guy.
Well, they got to get the money from somewhere.
Yeah, but here's the problem with what they're doing to boxing, is that you're reducing your fan base by having these type of fights on pay-per-view. I understand, like you said, you got to generate revenue to pay these guys.
Right.
But if you want to expand the base of your fandom, you've got to start showing these fights on free TV. These fights have to be seen on Saturday night on ABC and NBC. Just like when we were growing up and you could cut on the TV and see a Muhammad Ali,
right.
see a Joe Frazier, see a George Foreman. Now, not all the fights were free. Obviously, there was that closed circuit when you had it.
Remember at the Assembly Hall when they used to have Ali fights at the Assembly Hall?
Right.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, you get up, go get popcorn, and come back, and the fight's over.
Right, so.
Boy, was we hot back then. But now you sit at home, and they show the janitor fighting a secretary in the first fight. They still putting chairs out there, and then by the time they get to the main event, nothing even happens. Guys dance around looking like Dancing with the Stars. And we're going to talk about that before we get out of here.
My favorite.
Your favorite? Well, about your favorite. But before we get out of here, man, because, like I said, we got a few minutes left in the show. NFL draft was last week, and what we had going on there. Your favorite team, did they get who you wanted them to get? Who were the winners and losers? I look at the NFL draft and I say, who knows?
Yeah, you won't know until training camp, and the rookies report in a couple of months. And even with that, Joe, like I said Wednesday, you're sitting there and you're choosing something like 200 and some. You got 200 and some picks that's gonna go on for the next 2-3 days. Maybe the first 20 that are picked might get starting jobs.
And then after that?
The rest of them probably going to wind up on a practice squad, arena football, go to Canadian League, and a lot will be sent over to Europe for the NFL Europe, to get in some work if they want to, decide to keep them around. Well, maybe in 2 or 3 years we'll bring you back and put you on the squad.
Well, let's see. Let's check on this first round draft pick we got calling in. Caller, tell us your name. Tell us where you're calling from. Tell it like it is.
It's Tony.
What's going on?
Hey, yeah, man. What's up, man?
How you feeling?
Yeah, man. I'm calling from Champaign, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all talking about the fight, the weight and all that.
Yep.
But you know what? When all boiled down to it, it's gonna take just one punch, man.
All it takes is one punch.
One punch is all it takes.
And Tony, who's gonna land that one punch to decide the fight tomorrow night?
I think Mayweather's gonna do it.
You think Mayweather's gonna do it?
Yeah.
He gonna do it early or he gonna do it late?
Hey, that's all it takes, one punch.
One
He
punch.
might do it early, might do it late. That's all it takes, one punch, man.
Well, you're right.
Just
You're
one.
exactly right. That's the reason why the fight game. That's why I enjoy it.
And decide what counts, man. It's just a punch, man.
That's right.
All right now, brother.
One of the things I appreciate you calling, Tony. You get us anytime. Tell it like it is.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
Take care.
All right, man. God bless you.
All right.
Tony gonna watch the whole fight waiting for one punch.
Right. And then that one punch don't land. And then there's gonna be a fight at the fight party.
There it is.
Tony's gonna be like,
He didn't lost. Oh Lord, he didn't lost $5. He mad.
He mad.
He didn't get that one punch. But let's hope, Tony, that you get it. All right.
yeah, he's gonna get that one punch. Now, in terms of the draft, like we were just talking about, who knows who's the winners and losers? Because
well, hold on. Sum it all up, the whole winner of this draft was the New England Patriots.
you're right.
They managed to get Randy Moss, and that's all that New England needed to go to the Super Bowl this coming season.
Man.
You heard it here first. I'll tell it like it is. New England Patriots will be in the Super Bowl
Wow.
come February.
Wow. Here it is in May, and he's made a Super Bowl prediction for 2008. That's called confidence, or just guessing. One or the other.
Hey, let's look at. That's all that Brady needed.
You're right.
Somebody to throw the ball to. I mean, last year, that's the reason why they couldn't beat Indianapolis last year. He had nobody to throw the ball. I mean, his receivers were throw.
Right.
But now you got a Randy Moss who can go down the field and get it, and he's gonna go get it because I'm sure he's glad to be with New England now. He couldn't wait to get out of Oakland. He's in New England. He knows he got a good quarterback. He knows there's somebody that's gonna get him the ball, and he gonna put up some numbers this season.
You're exactly right. Now, here's my question. We've watched Randy Moss quit in Minnesota. We've watched him quit in Oakland. Will we watch him quit in New England?
He can get a ring in New England. No.
You're very confident about this.
You know what I'm talking about.
You still don't have a problem with your hat, man.
I'll get over it.
I tell you what, though.
Get over it.
One of the things I wanted to do tonight, a little different than what we've been able to do in the past. We've talked a lot about national figures and college figures and things like that. But tonight I want to give some love to some local athletes who are doing their thing on their own stage. The stage may not be as big and bright as some of the other athletes that we've talked about, but it's just as important to them as it is to anybody else. And that's the kids who play baseball over at Douglas Park in the First String program. That program has been run for the past 15 years by Peter McFarland and John Cooper and Walter Reed and Billy Reed and Deborah McFarland and Michelle Cooper. And they've done a fine job in terms of putting that program together. And they've got kids playing T-ball ages 5 to 8 in Farm League, 9 to 10, and in the Suited League, which is the 11 to 12-year-olds, which I get to coach. Got some good baseball going on.
I caught a couple of innings of the game last night. On my travels, on my travels home. I stopped by the field and caught about 2 or 3 innings. It was a good ball game going on. My only thing was I was a little bit confused, Joe.
Why were you confused?
I'm getting ready to tell you why I was confused. Because I'm very observant.
Yeah.
I was confused, Joe.
You're confusing me because you're confused.
The reason why I was confused, because both teams had on the same colored uniforms.
That's because the budget is not that expansive to where you can have multicolored uniforms, Sergeant Rock. You got to remember, this is Little League. So you get your blues and your greens and your blacks and your reds. That's about it.
Thank you for clearing that up for me.
So if another team come across town and they got on blue and you got on blue, you got two blue teams out there playing
I was
baseball.
confused.
But on the higher level, like I said, on the suited level, there's two teams that we have over there. Creative Marble, coached by Devin Turner. Big Wayne is doing an excellent job with the team. They're undefeated. They're 3-0. We played them Monday in a exciting game. We only got to go 5 innings. You know, normally you go 6 innings in a Little League game. They beat us 15-13. Got dark, so we could add in the game in the 5th inning. DeAndre Sanders, excellent job pitching and hitting as he led them on to victory. And like I said, now they're 3-0 in our league. Well, then we turned around on Wednesday night and got our first victory, a 13-12 victory over County Market out of Urbana.
Close game.
And I have to bring this up. Let me pump my chest up. Because my son, Jameer Stovall, hit a 2-run homer
Hey, kudos.
in the bottom of the 5th.
He went yard.
He went yard. Pew! You know, so real proud of him. And then see there, hanging out in the
Wave at the
background.
folks.
Wave, there you go. Don't be bashful, son.
You need a hat, so you need to tip that
Tip
hat.
that, tip the cap. Now we got to work on his home run trot because when he hit it, he jumped up in the air and screamed.
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, so we'll work on that. But
You got to stand and watch it for a minute and then break into your home run.
There you
trot.
go.
There you can work with him on.
well, I'll work on that. I'll see if I can get him to do a little Ricky Henderson sidestep or something like that. But I want to bring that up, just like I said, to give some love to those kids. They're playing on their stage, but that stage is just important to them as these major athletes. And one last story on a local boy. Local boy makes good. And talked to his dad last night, and I told him we would get this on the air before the show went off. But P.J. Keaton, William B. Keaton III, has signed a letter of intent to play his last 2 years of collegiate basketball for Arkansas State University. And we want to give a big kudos out to the Keaton family and congratulations to PJ for representing Champaign and getting out there and doing this thing.
Excellent. Now,
Yeah.
Arkansas State, that is in Arkansas.
That is in Arkansas.
Well, what city, though?
I don't know what city. They're the Indians, and it's a Division I school. So it's,
Oh, well.
upper level school. So he's going down there. Now, PJ was a third-team All-American, if you didn't know. He played his high school basketball at Champaign Central. He was a 3-year starter. He went on to Lincoln Community College in Lincoln, Illinois, where he was a third-team All-American at Lincoln and led his team in scoring the 2 years he was there. And now he signed a letter of intent to go to Arkansas State and play for the Indians. And Dickie Nutt is the coach down there at Arkansas State. I just wanted to say the coach's name.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why.
I
It's on the website if you need to check it out.
I started to comment. Hey, you might see Michael Jordan roaming the halls of the Assembly Hall this coming basketball season.
Yeah, you know, a couple weeks ago we had him here, his son Jeffrey.
Oh, you had him here?
We had Michael Jordan sitting right over, man,
Get out.
right sitting in that chair right over there.
And you didn't tell me?
Yeah, well, we couldn't. It was a security thing. We had to get the audience out. Juanita was here and so on. You know, because the reason why we couldn't talk about Jordan being here, Juanita and Mike here, they'd have been scrapping just like Layla and, Dancing with the Stars.
Layla, that's my sweetheart.
Now, we're going to close out the show. First, our Sergeant Rock.
What?
I know you're a Dancing with the Stars fan.
I watch it.
So before we go off the air, we only got a few seconds left. I just wanted to let you share with the listening audience your impressions of Dancing with the Stars.
Layla can fight and she can dance.
That's it?
Yep.
Now, Layla...
I'm not at liberty to say anything, yeah.
That's true, because we don't want the censors to come out.
Yeah,
But Sergeant Rock, thank you, sir.
Joe, glad to
Excellent
be
job.
here. My television program got canceled, but, I'm like Rosie O'Donnell. I'm going to turn up somewhere.
Stat Girl,
Yes.
thank you. Great job. Jason, folks in the back, Khalid, tell it like it is.
Hey, the crew in the truck.
The crew in the truck, they sleep.
Yeah, all them guys.
Right.
Wake
Dollar
up.
Bill down in Louisville.
Louisville.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to mess that up. I think I'm going to call the folks in the Derby.
Yeah, they're going to get you in trouble, man. Don't
You are watching a master at work.